Mick Lister is a guy who used to be in a band called The Truth years ago. They had a hit in the charts in the 80s. But he was a big Beat fan, and we were on the same record label around the same kind of time, you know. But we never actually met him. We were like ships in the night, and kind of met him and found we had a lot in common, and he knew so much about my music and my history. Guy had done his research, and I thought, I really want to work with this guy. I feel like I can trust him, and so we just got together and tried to write 4 tunes, and obviously they came out. Within 2 days we had acoustic guitar and vocals that we could play to management, and they were already going, this sounds great as a song, imagine when the band gets around it. So that's how the album first started, because I wanted to take it from a different angle. I tried to bring a Beat album out a couple of times. I had various different recordings of it, and I just thought, no, I need to start from scratch with the focus on the beat and the sound of the beat, and it worked. Really hard work, but it worked. Everything I've ever done has always been mixed from beat day one.
Yeah.
With the first Beat album, you got reggae, you got punk, you got a bit of ska, you got, second album, you got calypso and African and kind of mixed with a bit of disco. And third, so it's like every album, there's some kind of difference in the music, but it's all based on dance, and that's what I like about beat music the most. So it gives me a lot of different styles to play with. It's great that people don't just go, you're a punk band and that's it. But we do incorporate punk into it as well, and we're not just a reggae band because I've got dreadlock. We're far from it, but we do have a reggae flavour, Brilliant, they're loving it. Last week we played London and a place called Under the Bridge, and it was sold out. The crowd absolutely went mad for the new ones.
Brilliant.
And I was so surprised because London is they say London are one of the hardest crowds. It takes a lot to please them, but they were very raucous. For me, the main thing is that the message gets out. The beat message of love and unity, and anti-war, and not judging a man by his the way he looks or his colour, by what's inside or by what he brings to the community, and all those kind of things, this whole surveillance society that we live in, and mixed in with that, the fact that our freedom of speech, if you really want to say something, you have to be very careful how you say it. Because you can get in trouble, you can end up in prison just for saying something. So that is not freedom of speech, and all that's gone now. So you can still say stuff, but you have to watch how you say it. And walking on the wrong side is really clever because it's saying a lot of stuff, but you have to read between, you have to hear it, you have to listen to the lyrics 4 or 5 times before you actually start getting it, and you start going, oh, actually, it's quite deep, and I feel sorry that I can't say what I really want to say, or I can say what I really want to say. I just have to find the right way of saying it, that's all. I can't come straight out with it, with emotions like it should be said. I have to beat around the bush and come round again to, so...
So do you feel like you do censor yourself a bit?
I think as a lyricist you have to. And the one thing I've never wanted to do is shove it down people's throats. I've always said, this is what I think, now what do you think? You make your own decision, and I think that's the right way, and walking on the wrong side kind of leans to that, but it's kind of like about me being, if you like, paranoid about the technology and the surveillance that goes on, even though I've done nothing wrong. You see what I mean? So there's no reason for me to feel paranoid about it, but I do, even though I've done nothing wrong. There's a sense of you could say what you really felt, and you could actually write it as it was, as it came, that kind of thing. Now you write it as it comes, and then you have to go over it and rearrange it to be saying, well, you can't say that now, that kind of thing. So yeah, I, as a lyricist, I feel a way that I can't say things the way that I really want to. Obviously it was my love of my life. I gave up because I was environmentally conscious.
Yeah.
And I had 2 cars at one time, and I'm like, no, that's it. So I gave up the cars and went out skating. I skated everywhere for 4 years. As long as it was around Birmingham,
yeah.
You'd see me on my skates to town and back, from Mosley to Handsworth, back again, that kind of thing, sometimes twice a day.
Yeah.
And I got really fit because of it. I ended up becoming an instructor and teaching loads of people. But it was like a love, and it was a way of life, and I met a different community, which was a skating community, and none of them knew me from Adam. They didn't know I was Rankin Roger from the beat, so it's great. I could actually have some real friends, and by the time they realised or found out who I was, it was too late. You can't change now, that kind
you've
of
already
thing.
established that
That's
friendship.
right, I know what you're
yeah.
like, and you know what I'm like, so we've got to stick it, and I think those are the best friends, But yeah, it was great because I found a new kind of lifestyle which kept me feeling kind of young still, if you like, while all my mates were getting, old. It was good. I mean, he's got 3 tunes on the album, and obviously the next album there'll be more. But the thing what I am a bit disappointed about is that there wasn't more father and son interaction. It's like there's Rankin Roger tunes and there's Rankin Junior tunes, and I think the next album we have to get more together like that because we're good like that. Well, he had his tunes and I had my tunes, more or less, because we obviously at home we both. I've got my studio in the garden. That's a lovely part, and his studio's in his bedroom, kind of thing. He's got it all set up, kind of thing. So we do write separately, but then a tune like How Do You Do, he brought it to me originally, and it sounded like grime music, and I'm like, I really love it, you know what I mean? I really love it, Murphy, because that's his name, Murphy. So I really love it, but in order for us to be able to play this, it needs to sound like the beat, so we scarred it up. And it worked, and luckily it did, and he was like, oh, I didn't think it could ever work like this, and we've kept it that way ever since, and that's the vibe. So even when I write a tune, I have to take it out of Rankin Roger mode and bring it into beat mode and beatify it, or else it can't work, it's that kind of thing. So I think in the future that's what has to happen, that's the way. There's a certain style and certain sound for the beat, and we know we can maintain that.
And I love the fact you say on the next album, because you left us hanging for some time until we had an album out.
Yeah, good 35 years.
Yeah, so what are thoughts on I don't want to rush you, but you know what I mean? What's thoughts on the next album then? Bit of a time scale?
Well, I've already got 4 tracks kind of ready in my head and writing bits, you know what I mean? So there's some great unique ideas coming. Making this last record gave me even more inspiration in its own way. The record company reckon this album will last a year.
Right, yes.
Certainly.
Yeah.
And that's good, as far as I'm concerned. So maybe this time next year we might be going in, or we might be in the studio recording the next album.
Yeah.
We've been doing some of the new songs since earlier on this year and the year before, which songs like Dream and Side to Side, to test out to see if the fans like them. And they've gone down really well, but Avoid the Obvious and Walking on the Wrong Side we've been playing since September, at the end of September. They seem to be going down as well as the old ones. We're still trying to get to terms of playing the new ones and stuff, because everything was done in the studio at first, so it's a bit different doing it live. And there are collaborations that me and my dad have done in the past, but we just haven't. We sort of need to do more of it, really. I think we both respect each other's music, and we have done for years. We have done a few collaborations, but as the Beat, we should definitely be doing more, say, writing together and verse for verse kind of thing, and a bit more like that, to show a bit more of the father and son, I think.
Yeah. And how does it feel for you when you're on stage doing your songs and you can see people in the audience singing along to your lyrics?
It's just the best feeling ever, really. I mean, it's better than anything. I mean, normally when it comes to the verses, I see people sort of trying to get it, and they can't really get it off their tongue yet, but once they practice, they'll get it. The choruses, though, I always see everybody singing along, and the side-to-side part at the end where I try and get everyone going. Everyone seems to be in the groove of it, so that's the main thing. Obviously, I love all the music that I've written myself and stuff, but one of my favourite songs on the album is Avoid the Obvious, actually. It's so catchy and it's got that uplifting feel to it. And big respect to my dad for that one, yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like I say, I've been working with my dad for a long time now.
Yeah.
I'd say probably about 15 years. Not as long with the beat, but we've done stuff together and sort of, you know, the new material, it's all sounding great, and I just think more collaborations and more of that, you know, maybe we should do like a reggae song or something together,
Yeah.
something with a nice feel, you know.